in the blue, excuse me, he is Spirit. And in the upper left, in the red now, for PSISTORM, it's MaxPax. But to continue that conversation, he did lose the EPT North America 142 finals to Solar last Monday. 1-3, excuse me. 142, he lost at 1-3. But he 2-0 Dark in the round of 4. You know, he beat you Thermal in the round of 8. And then, okay, White Adrian doesn't matter. But anyway, point being, MaxPax is on an absolute tear. And it's going to be interesting to see this setup because I think Spirit's been good. But he certainly, I don't know. I don't know that he is quite on the same level. So, anyway, folks, the reason that this broadcast starts at 8:30 instead of 7, and actually I'm glad I got the timing really right, is because I play Ultimate on Sundays. I play in a league. We are 4-0 now after tonight, and the way that, so in the terminology of Ultimate, if the next point wins the game, and you're all tied up, so you're all really close, it's called a Universe Point. And 3 of the 4 games that we have won this week have gone to double universe, which means they were time capped, so next point wins due to time because we're tied. And also it was 14-14, so double universe point. 3 of the 4 weeks we've won them all. What's my ultimate main? I'm not talking about Smash Ultimate. 69 Death of the Nude. I played some of it a couple of years ago. I own it. I never got into it super hard. I didn't really main anything because as I often do with things, I did like a deep dive into the mechanics a little bit. So just so I could beat my brother. So I would random things and beat him with it. So what are we at in this game? Actually, let me see this a little bit more. It is small. All right, there we go. No, I'm talking about Ultimate, like Ultimate Frisbee. Although I think you're technically not supposed to say Frisbee because Frisbee is a trademark by Waymo. And Waymo is not an official Waymo event. So, like, the discs are discs. They're not Frisbees. Is Reaper? Oh, nice little grenade there. Gets a drone. Or, wow, gets a... I was talking about this yesterday. I swear I have this incredible ability to refer to whatever unit, so whatever worker unit is not in the game as whatever it is. So, you know, we're talking about TVP, so it's drones, clearly. But anyway... Probe goes down, but on the other side, SCV dies as the command center is very close to completion. So this is just obnoxious for Spirit. He's not going to get an SCV down the ramp for quite a while. He just only has 1 Marine. SCV tries now, but okay, I was going to say I would have liked to see MaxPax just target that, but he doesn't. He was too close to running away, or too close to shading out. He did not want to cancel that shade. So he's got 2 adepts. He's going to let their shields go up, and he's going to go again. Shade in behind the mineral line probably and just deny mining for a little bit, or scout out and hope that the wall is down, or the supply depot is down and supply depot is staying up. But it's just that constant pressure. It's one of those things. It's like worker harass in the early game where it probably shouldn't get anything done, but it is an APM test. It is just, it's something that Spirit has to respond to. And that just puts marginally more pressure on his game. Again, he's a professional player. It really should not cause issues, but on the off chance it does, why not? It's like you're playing baseball, and you should just run hard to first base, because is it likely that they commit an error? Is it likely they overthrow the first baseman? No. But hey, if it's 1 out of 100, that can turn into a run. That can change the game. All right, so blink on the way for MaxPax, but Widowmine drops to start for Spirit. Behind this, he's doing something a bit more technical, a little bit more interesting here as we get Banshees on the way. No cloak, though. And Stalkers get a good blink off. So this Widowmine drop, by the way, it is late in that it would like to get damage done, but it's not required to get damage done. Just kind of sitting here, and it'll sit probably off to the right side for a little bit. Maybe Spirit will be able to take advantage of having these Banshees on the map. So he can put Banshees in the third base in the natural. MaxPax gets distracted. What am I dropping the main? And maybe that's the damage he wants to find. But for now, I mean, MaxPax is well situated. And he went for a War Prism. I don't know how many gateways he has. Kind of hard for me to see. He's got at least 2, obviously. He warped in 2 stalkers. But getting this warp prism does signal a decent amount of aggression. Normally, you just go observers, you maybe drop a robo bay, or you do whatever. But the warp prism is an investment in potential damage. So for now, we will see a supply depot go down, a tank and a bunker on the high ground here. Spirit is well defended for this. So stalkers aren't going to be able to get too much done. SCVs have to get pulled, though, to keep that bunker alive, and still 2 SCVs fall. Bunker survives, though, and that's great. And 3 more stalkers warp in. And, of course, folks, behind this, there's charge on the way. As we are synced up with the observer. Thank you, the WTL observer. Charge on the way forward as well. Stalkers playing forward, and this bunker will go down. I think he got the tank as well. So that looked like it was expensive. A lot of stalkers are wounded. I think a decent amount of stalkers died, but Stim is not anywhere close to being done. If you get tanks like that, that is very nice indeed. But now we're going to see the army of Spirit runs forward. Another big warp in, as that's a weird drop position, just sitting on the right side. Spirit not sure whether he wants to send it out on the map right now. MaxPax is aware of it, and now we see the drop heading out. That feels just very, very late. So Banshees are getting something. A probe does fall, but Stalkers will be able to blink on top of this very quickly. And remember, folks, there is no cloak, so nothing to keep the Banshee alive, and the natural Stalkers blink on top. This is his second bunker that will fall. One Stalker dies in the exchange. The tank looks to siege his way up, and Stalkers do not have wholesale blinks. They just got to get out. Got to run away. And while MaxPax is finding value, it does feel like this push is starting to stall out just a little bit. Oh, the Stalker blinks forward, though. It just looks to eat the tank shot. There we go. Secondary blink going in. So the tank is now dead. MaxPax, he's got 2 blinks in this arm. He's got the Warp Prism, and he has those blink stalkers. So the tank is doing tremendous damage, but it's not sieged up just yet. What am I doing? Oh, no, MaxPax. That pretty much equalizes all the damage he just got. I mean, he's still up 52 workers to 39, but he could be up higher. He could be up even more. He didn't have blink off on all of his stalkers, Devin the dude. Anyway, big concave here, but now the charge lots are done, so this tank is done. It's dead. Stalkers blink onto the second one. The army of Spirit continues to fall down, continues to die, and Spirit is actually dead. Game 1 goes the way of the Adept. Game 1 goes the way of the MaxPax. The upper right, in the blue, it is Spirit. And the bottom left, the red Protoss player up 1. It's MaxPax. But anyway, so my school is like shutting everything down. I mean, I do have a draft done. I was actually really excited. So I got feedback from my PI last night. I think the most recent feedback. And the feedback I got was effectively that I was too granular in my discussion of something, which I'm actually very happy with, because normally she yells at me for being too high level. So now if I'm going too low level, then that means we're gonna normalize in the middle at some point. But anyway, I'm also on the plan. My school's shutting everything down October 21st for like a day of caring, because between being literally in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness and with COVID and everything else, mental health issues are reaching crisis levels. So we're one day does not fix everything. One day, hopefully, maybe gives people the tools. So, MaxPax is up 1 here. It's a short map. Certainly something that we might see Spirit take advantage of. It means, say, 311 is more impactful. And with this eBay block that Spirit has gone for, it does force MaxPax to be more exposed third base. What am I studying and where? I am a PhD student working on autonomous systems. If you're curious about the specific research I work on, the specific research I work on, Cardore, ! Research in the chat. That is actually not true in the slightest, Devin the dude. I may not go into, I'm 2 years out, and B, NASA doesn't have a president unless we talk about the US president. But yes, I work on autonomous systems, PhD student. I'm at Dartmouth. And I have the best PI. But Zealot runs across the map from MaxPax. He got it early, and I've heard some Protoss kind of saying you want to get that Zealot. I mean, you want to cancel it maybe, but get that Zealot anyways, because it does mean that you can, you deny things, you can put pressure on the map. Chat is lying to the other people in chat, but certainly the Zealot on the other side, it does cause some chaos. It means the SCVs take damage. It means they have to run away. And it does mean, most importantly, that both, I wish Observer would show this, but both SCVs got to wounded state. So it only takes 1 or 2 shots from the Adept to kill them off, which means the natural will be delayed a little bit more. I'm assuming. I don't think I'm seeing... Okay, completed. Oh, that's awesome. Cardore. You should join my... I have an entire Discord channel full of people that masters out... That really... at this point, I think that the only PhD in it because... Or PhD student because everyone else is mastering out. Has she ever watched one of my streams? I don't think so. But, yeah, it's autonomous systems. I'm on the mechanical side, so it's a lot of... It's control, not as much graph theory. I work on single robots. I think swarm theories or swarming robotics are really interesting, as we will see a Hellion that's going to show up here, but it returns pretty quickly, so we should be fine. Probe's going to get... Oh, that's a great surround. Spirit, we can see him shake his head a little bit. Not happy about it. But anyway, yeah, so we have someone who was getting a PhD in working on 3D printer control. She mastered out because her PI was kind of not great. And then there's another guy who showed up who also has a master's and works professionally in 3D printer type control stuff. And then there's me, and yeah, I fill that with random videos of the simulations I've done, because right now I'm actually not working in control systems. Like I'm not working on control all that much because I am working on the dynamics of the system. So that's what the conference paper is really going to be about. But anyways, back to the game. Blink just about done. Third base, technically the natural, but it is the third base on the way for MaxPax. And Spirit is worried about DT pressure. So he does have a missile turret going down in the natural, which is just a total misread of the situation. It's Blink. Is that Nexus misplaced? You'll be all right, Devin the dude. You'll land on your feet. I believe in you. So, Stalker's Blink forward here. Marine will fall. It does feel like that Nexus it's probably fine, but it does feel like that Nexus is a bit misplaced. Anyways, Stalker's now blinking onto the high ground as soon as their blink comes off cooldown. But this is okay. That makes sense. This is triple orbital play from Spirit. So he says, I can be a little inefficient with my missile turret placement because, well, I have triple CC. I got triple mule. It's gonna be fine. But on the flip side, one might argue you need it less because you have triple scans earlier. Thank you, Cardori, and good luck to your on your research as well. No, that's right. There's another guy who's getting a PhD, who's working on this really cool system to parse media formats to get highlights out of it. So he's posted some preprints in that channel. He's very much a CS guy. But now the bio moves down the ramp. Stim is only about halfway done. So Spirit, if he moves out, it's going to be about a minute and a half. And getting the third base as quick as he is, I don't even think he does all that. In fact, it's more of he has to stay alive from this. Siege 4112, like computer science, not Counter-Strike. But anyway, Stalker's blink backwards. These Marines, they're just falling. Tank sieges up now, but it takes a while to siege that up, so it doesn't even get a shot off here. Stalker's blink on the second one, and MaxPax is just a killer in this game, in this series. The Marines will all fall. Great micro from MaxPax. Marauder shows up, but again, Stim is not done. Combat shields are not done. +1 is not done. These Marines, these Marauders do not represent all that much of a threat. You will gladly trade 13 Marines, 2 tanks, for what was that, 3 Stalkers? Counter-Strike science, exactly. I mean, they have a lot of experimentation in that one. The smoke trajectory, or the throwable trajectories. There was a whole hullabaloo because I think there was a molly trajectory, like a molly toss on one map that was kind of broken. It could hit spawn, I think, or something. I forget. Anyway. Bunch of Zealots into the main base, dropped off. War will warp in, forcing the army of Spirit back home, which means MaxPax maybe has some pushing opportunity, but actually really great hold position there on the SCVs. Means the Zealots, they don't really get all that much done. So 4 Zealots die, 4 left back in the Warp Prism as they go into the natural, but there are some Marines doing a little bit of damage, but really, the Warp Prism shouldn't take all that much. MaxPax, though, not seeing the opportunity that he wants to really get in here to get the damage that he's been looking for, but still 5 SCVs go down, and importantly, we're not seeing that big spike of army supply that we often see against a Storm player, which means MaxPax is doing effective damage. What often happens, I mean, it is about a 20-30 supply lead, but it can be much worse. So MaxPax is going to have Storm done. He has plenty of Zealots. We got drops on both sides, but MaxPax sees both of them. He's got the scout on the bottom right. He's got the scout on the upper left. So this shouldn't get all that much done. It means MaxPax, well, actually, the drop on the bottom side, it's going to find a mineral line here. MaxPax is just not on top of the pull once again. 7 workers go down. It's 11. It really just about as much as you could possibly want. And now MaxPax has to move those stalkers home. Proud of you as that missile turret or that Widowmine will go down. Proud of you, Foshers. I played Ultimate for 2 hours, and I was trying to guard people who literally who are in the late stage process of training for marathons. It was very hard. The Widowmine is gonna, oh, it's gonna go off again. Oh no, MaxPax thought the cannon was gonna be ready, so takes tremendous hits to his economy. 14 probes in total fall from those drops, and there's another one into his, oh no, sorry, that's a Marauder and 3 Widowmines. Interesting. But the probes have to get pulled. Concussive Shell is doing what they can. Stalker's got to blink backwards here. 12 more probes go down. Great damage from Spirit. MaxPax, it feels like this game is going to have to go a little bit later if he does want to be able to make something happen. I mean, he's just taking so much damage at this point that his economy truly in shambles. But I mean, he still has a good army. He's got at least 3 storms in that Warp Prism. And Spirit feels kind of zoned out here. He's got part of his army in the natural that MaxPax is currently fighting. He can't really stim it on the backside because that's where storms are. He scans this out, but there we go. He's going to go for it. But I mean, again, the storms, they're pretty big. Not the biggest one I've seen, but still pretty big. And as Polly points out, medevacs don't have a lot of energy, so any sort of storm damage is absolutely fantastic here as now more and more Zealots are going to warp in. So MaxPax takes all the economic damage in the world, but he's just crushing this army. The army is overstimmed. SCVs are falling. We have an Archon on the way just for good measure from all those High Templar from earlier. Tanks go down. Bunker is the only saving grace. Meanwhile, Spirit, he's got his 4th pace. He was very greedy behind this. I didn't think that MaxPax was going to be able to break this, but it looks like MaxPax will absolutely break this one. There we go, Archon into the high ground. Of course, with Ghosts here, Archons, they die very quickly indeed, but more Zealots warp in, and now MaxPax is on top of the production. So MaxPax, a quick 2-0 from a pretty poor spot. And he takes the 2-0. PSISTORM up 2. It's game 1 here of Time and Special. What do we see? Barracks Double Gas Factory. Yeah, I mean, this VOD will go on YouTube, so... Yeah, no, apparently... Yeah. Color up, Bringer on stream. Talking about casting stuff, folks. I may be casting another game on like 1 day a week. Somewhat soon. And that I have fallen deeply for Omega Strikers, and they're starting to run tournaments for that. So I'm going to try to do that. Honestly, you should watch. It's going to be a really interesting challenge for me. As that is a very, like, that game is going to have to get commentated like hockey. Like, it's super staccato, right? Each game is between 4 and 6 minutes. Things are super fast. It's not this StarCraft setup of, you know, I have to fill time. You tell stories, it's super melodic, you get the highs and lows. And this one, you know, back in the right corner, up to the top, stuff in the goalie. Like, it's staccato. So, it's going to be an interesting challenge. Looking forward to it. But anyways, for now, very, very, very mirrored builds. Coming out of Special and Time. And Special now trying to own the middle of the map, waiting for the 2 Reapers to arrive. And, well, 2 Reapers, they can do something. It takes 3 shots to kill an SCV, but if they are undefended, this actually is very much, this is a very Gumiho thing, where you just jump in there, you say, yep. Well, Gumiho would sack him and try to get maybe an SCV or so. doesn't look like that pressure is going to get all that much done. So for now, folks, we're going as one would expect. It's hard to get damage done in TVT unless you really commit to it, and Special doesn't strike me a player as someone who would want to do that. You know, he wants to get in that mech play, wants to get all those tanks, wants to get all those cyclones maybe, and start to dominate the map in the mid game. Of course, every Terran player has their all-ins. They have their pressure builds. You have to, so your opponent doesn't get too greedy. Yeah, you talk about names in StarCraft MW1832. I'm actually a big fan of Bohemian Rhapsody, and that there's this glorious meme from like the beginning of time. Shout out Cham indeed. But it's you know, is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. And it just has words in it, crossed out because there's a pro game. We have a reality. We had a life until he cheated. We had fantasy. I think landslide would actually be a fantastic pro gamer name. Like, I want to cast a landslide. You know, he goes in, and landslide comes rolling down the map. He's got to be a Zerg, of course, for the Banes. The Banes come rolling. The Banes from landslide come rolling on down. That just sounds like fun. We got a bait here into the Widowmine. Oh, great target fire there from Special. Making sure the Widowmine does not target things down. No, I like Beowulf 1832. My Smurf is landslide. I'm thinking about trying to compete in Atlanta because I will be there, and they paid out everyone for Valencia. I would absolutely get smashed out like first round, but it would be fun. As nice little roundabout here from Time. We'll find a tank for free. I mean, I guess he lost to Hellion, but really not all that much. But surround there on the auto shirts will force Time back further into Special domain. Good lock on one of the Cyclones, knocks that down, but auto turret defensively 4 times. Special trying to dive on top as the Cyclones, or excuse me, as the auto turrets time out. Good micro there from Time. He doesn't lose the second Cyclone. He keeps that Raven alive, and what looked like a promising setup for Special ended up being pretty nice for Time. But Special does have more Ravens on the way. He's building himself up. He's got his 3rd base. And it looks like actually that was oh, those are units killed, so yeah, no, great, really actually fantastic response there from Time, despite it looking good from the flank from Special. So interestingly enough, we have 2 additional barracks on the way from Special. I very much expect to see mech, maybe not on Waterfall. Maybe that's an unfair assessment, considering, well, it's so small. It's hard to get mech, hard to make mech work. But no, Special is going bio in this game. Double eBay going down, additional barracks. He's got stim. Widowmine goes off, and it tries to run away. But the Cyclone is faster, and lock-ons are powerful things. So now Time trying to put pressure onto Special's 3rd base, but I don't think he's going to be all that successful with it. It's so hard to break a Terran. I appreciate that macrocosm. I appreciate the amount of nerd. I mean, I'm talking about video games. You're watching people play video games professionally. Of course, it's going to be a bunch of nerds, but I appreciate the significant amounts of nerdiness that we always have in my stream. But now Time looking to move forward, especially on Siege here. He understands that that is not a tenable position, but running is not easy either. 2 tanks will fall, and on the high ground here, Time, he's going to get a 3rd one. Good lock on. In fact, it's Time for a victory because Time takes game number 1. Special not ready for it. As he does the anime thing, he moves his glasses up, makes him flash. In the upper right, though, or upper left, it's Kaizi Gaming's time. Bottom right in the red, down 1. Special. And this is a cheeky little SCV on the other side of the map. Game 1, you try to play the macro game, and Time slaps that aside. So what do? you drop a barracks in game number 2. But what I'm looking for is A, gas. Is it 1 gas or is it 2? And B, is this a setup where Special just builds the proxy for 1 or 2 Reapers and goes from there? Or does he have something else in mind? So we'll be double gas after the barracks. So technically, barracks double gas factory. The barracks is on the other side of the map. And then, do we see the factory at home? Do we see the factory abroad? We saw... Oh, it was battle. No, it was Acheron with a proxy starport that built medevac, and then it built a tech lab, built a Banshee or 2 that got damaged, and then it flew off, built a reactor, built about 8-10 Vikings. The reactor was killed, goes and builds another reactor, builds more Vikings, and ends up winning the game. Like, if you did not see Acheron versus Battlebee, I know TVT is super polarizing. It's not the most fun often, all the time. But their Acheron Battlebee series was fantastic. And actually, both Acheron series today from the B stream were bangers. They were absolutely fantastic. A special right now, it's only 1 Reaper from the barracks on the other side of the map. He's got his factory going down at home. Oh, but look at this. He got the first shot. SCV pulled forward to make sure he buffers so he can have an easier time of getting that first shot off. It's a weird timing. It's a weird angle for Special to come in on. But for now, he does have positive HP on the Reaper. It means these SCVs, they're just being pulled. And Special diving on top of one more shot. He gets the Reaper. And remember, he's got a second one behind this. So he will be at 2 Reapers versus 1. It takes a while to kill the SCVs, of course. Yeah, game 1 was okay. But game 2 and game 3 were beautiful. So now we're looking at 2 Reapers. I tried to press U to see what units were up, but yeah, we're looking at 2 Reapers to 1, I think. But there's a Hellion here as well, so Special has to be kind of careful. Good grenade, forces the Reaper back. A Special does have his natural on the way. Now, I mean, it is only a barracks. It's not the biggest of deals. You're effectively doing your standard opener. You're just doing it from somewhere else. Although, Special's going mech this game, by the way. Second factory already on the way, and the barracks not floating back home. It's just going to be used for vision, for scouting. So, ooh. I mean, that's kind of what I was expecting here, but we got Macfield on the way, especially going for effectively a Macfield Cyclone timing. This can do a couple things. You can be looking to use this to snipe medevacs, snipe tanks, whatever. But often, the goal of this one, you get about 6 Cyclones. And you just try to lock onto a base and snipe it down, and no amount of repair in the world keeps that alive. So that may be what Special is looking to go for. And time's just going to have to pay attention. Now, oh, that's actually so nice with the lifted barracks, excuse me. It means that he just gets a lock on for free. It means one of these Hellions dies immediately. Secondary lock on there is a body block from time is attempted, but not successful. Reapers return back, but they trade effectively. Well, 1 for 2 actually. Great job there by time. But he's just gonna blow. Oh, Special, you're a dick. But no, the Reaper's gonna sit under it. Oh, okay, Special had the opportunity, but it's not gonna quite work out. Oh, yes, he is. The Natural's not going down for a while now, folks. Banshee's on the other side, and hey, or a Banshee on this side of the map for time, but Cyclone trades 1 for 1. This is Special built Marines out of that barracks. Why not? Yeah, no. It does matter to block the CC. The command center's already made MW1832, I think. No, it's in production. I'm talking about blocking the CC landing so it can mine efficiently. There we go. Lock on there on the Banshee, and it is, well, oh, it's not going to go down, but there's another Banshee that arrives, so Cyclone trades for a Cyclone. Barracks getting very... Drop the mule. Drop the mule. Drop the mule Special, but at the very least, you're blocking the Natural. And there we go. Double lock on here. So, I mean, this is a lot of damage on this orbital. He's not like at that 6 Cyclone number that I was talking about. That really just kills it. But even still, it's a very nice lock on as the barracks falls. We will have a scan on the high ground here, and Special sees the tank. That's going to force him back. But okay, yes, the third base is on the way. this game is a special game. Like, to a T, this is the type of game, this is the type of chaos that Special loves to foment. Yeah, is he going to do something super crazy early? Maybe. But in the mid game, weird builds are in fact weird builds. And the lock on the tank immediately knocks it down. One Cyclone gets low. The Banshee doesn't really represent a ton of damage here. And Cyclones will waste some lock-ons on SCVs. They are forced back, and the tank now gets the siege up. Two of these Cyclones very low, one-shottable by the tank. And now Special with what is effectively air dominance. It is air dominance from the ground, but any sort of Viking count just gets shredded by this 6 Cyclone force now. Means he can go straight into Liberators. He's getting more tanks, he's getting more SCVs, he has that third base up, but really the important thing is he can get Liberators and he can use them to break the line. To break those tanks on the low ground, Cyclones run in. Random Widow Mines are an interesting decision. But it is not looking good for time in this game number 2. Game number 4 in total of Kaizi and PSISTORM. Especially now he's going to get some upgrades. Widow Mines heard burrow somewhere. Looks like burrowing right outside the natural. And okay, there we go. Liberator in the main base, but Marines are there, so it's not getting much done. In the natural, though, it's a little bit more annoying. It's got to run away, though, as again, more Marines do arrive. I kind of expected to see just a full frontal push from Special, to be totally honest, with the Liberators. Oh, one Banshee falls. Unfortunate. That is a well-placed missile turret. But still, Banshee still finds a little bit of value, knocks 3 SCVs down. The Cyclones are abroad. They're not at home. They're on their world tour. That means there's actually no detection in the main base whatsoever. Special hot picking up the double medevac Cyclones. He gets the scan off as well. But 8 SCVs go down despite the powerful anti-air that Special has. So well done by time, finding an opportunity. Now he kind of equalizes the worker count. Not perfectly, of course, but kind of equalizes the worker count. Cyclones now looking for the lock onto the tank. They're just going to get it. We see how powerful the Magfield Cyclone is against these armored units. So third base is going to try to land, but we immediately see the tank. It's not going to get a single shot off. It's just dead. Now, the Cyclones, they don't fight Marines as well, but there's just enough of them that they're going to lock on this orbital, and look how fast this thing dies. We see the medevac gets boosted forward. It's just for vision, folks. And the orbital, one more. Yeah, it's dead. This is exactly what Special wanted out of this push. Now, he's got 2 medevacs. I think he's going to try to elevate her in the high ground. Yes, he is. Oh, this is spicy. The third base is going to get denied immediately. In the high ground, Special goes. Time taps out. And that means that Gumiho only needs to take 1 map against Reynor. He only needs 1. Anyway, folks, in the upper bottom left in the blue, he is for Kaizi. It's Reynor. He has to win this game. He's got to win the next one, and he's got to win the ace match. So right now, they're looking very good in the upper right in the red. For PSISTORM, Gumiho. We talk about, we joke about big gay ball we want, but man, Gumiho was dominating his webcam. The medevac was actually what brought some of the medevacs, or the medevac was actually what brought some of the Cyclones to that fight, 1832. As he had been using medevac drops. So medevac didn't come quite out of nowhere, but he was still a sick play. By the way, Gumiho has been... We talk about players who have been on the up and up. MaxPax is certainly one of them, but Gumiho has been looking very good as well, getting into the round of 6 of the GSL, I believe. I mean, Gumiho's been looking good. It is so exciting to see these players. So I changed my... what's the word? I changed browsers to Firefox because we're going to lose the ad blocker in 2023, and I had some issues with Twitch and some other things, so I said, might as well change. This is the opportunity I need. Gumiho, okay, yeah, he got out in 3rd place. He was looking like he was going to top his group after week 1. But anyway, Gumiho looking very good. It's so exciting to see these players that come back from the military start to reclaim some of that former form. We have Hero winning GSL last season. top 4 at Valencia. Probably should have beaten Dark, like realistically. Yes, Firefox is a non-profit too. I mean, I was using Brave, which is a chromium. It's not chrome, but all chromium products were going to be affected. So really, Firefox is the only option. Like Edge is affected by, it will be affected by the new chromium changes. These no ad blockers. Ooh, Gumiho's going to block the third base. Oh, and he kills the drone. Oh man, we see Reynor. He's not happy about that one. It's not good. You don't expect that to happen, but Gumiho arrives at the proper timing. He gets the damage done. Yeah, Firefox is a nonprofit. Yeah, Mozilla. That is correct. They also make a pretty decent email client if you use offline email clients at this point. It's called Thunderbird. They may have discontinued that. I'm not sure, but I used to use it. Now I just use Gmail. Drone goes out once again. Reynor really doesn't want to take that pocket third base, but he looks like he will have to. And they do have a VPN. They are very devoted to internet privacy. And I believe it's Firefox that has the Tor extension. So Firefox is what works best with Tor, if I remember right. Which of course Tor is a many things, but the biggest one is just this distributed VPN, right? That is really useful for people under autocratic regimes and things, because it's very hard. It's even harder than a normal VPN track. It was actually developed by I think the CIA, but then was made a little bit more publicly available. I mean, no VPN is 100% foolproof, but it does bounce you around a little bit. If you're really trying to fool a VPN, or if you're really trying to hide something, Tor is probably the answer. But Tor has, like the CIA, I believe, has backdoors into it. That Reaper is absolutely stunning. You're right, Macrocosm. But now here come Hellions with that Reaper onto the other side, onto Reynor's side of the map. And this will be a Viking play from Gumiho. In part because he wants to knock down Overlords. In part because he doesn't want to spend gas on... Okay, so there was an armory on the way, and I think it was canceled because Reynor did get an Overlord in on the bottom side. So the attempted Hellbat idea, honestly, is probably good for Gumiho. Hellbats don't tend to do that much. Tor. It's not really a VPN. We see Reynor just wants to make... In part, he's spending that extra money that he bulked up by having to take his third base so late. He said, okay, Overlord speed is the answer. And the Overlord did get in, did cause the armory to get canceled. So instead, this is just going to be kind of an elevator play, I guess. Because there's a lot of Hellions. Getting those medevacs, though, getting that early medevac is interesting. Normally, you don't want to spend the gas on that. You don't want to spend the minerals on that if you can help it. But one link finds its way in. We'll delay the supply depot just a little bit. Hellions diving into the third base. But Gumiho, his target is not the drone line. I guess he just has too much faith in Reynor's ability to block. And what he's doing actually is distracting, because now there's a drop in the main base, but the medevac falls down immediately, and Gumiho trying to join the Marines in their pressure forward. Oh, the drones, they're so stacked up. There's nowhere for them to go. 13 workers will go down. Make it 16, make it even more. 18 workers, 20 workers. This is disastrous. Reynor had his third base delayed. The drones are still dying. It takes a while. I mean, there's just so many Hellions. They kill the Lings. It is not... There's still three Hellions that are going to dive back into the natural, and that is all it takes to one-shot more. 25 workers hit the deck here, and Gumiho is absolutely dancing. He's styling on him. Although, actually, he's not dancing. He's just kind of sitting there, and we see him look a little nonplussed. But remember, Gumiho just has to win this game. For PSISTORM to take week 1 over Kaizi, a team with spirit and time, and Reynor, Gumiho just has to win one map. It's looking good. He delayed the third base of Reynor for quite a while, which means that Reynor had less of a margin for error for losing things like drones, because of course you get that third base late, which means slower queens, which means less larva. It goes on. You don't have quite as much production opportunity. So Gumiho finds himself up about 20 workers. And most importantly, he's going behind this. We're not seeing the whole, I got to get a lot of damage done, into mech play, into, oh no, I didn't touch you for 10 minutes and now I'm dead style. So Hellions trying to dive in once again. And This actually makes a lot of sense. Oh no, Reynor doesn't get the block. Oh, line them up. That's such a big lineup there. 9 more workers will go down. Not all the Hellions are not dead. 15 more. So what is that? 30 something workers? That was 22. So what is that? 37 workers, almost 40 workers going down before the 8-minute mark, and the 2 Hellions still escape. This is just, it's a disaster. Air Power 44. It is live as in I am talking to you. The games were played this morning. So the way WTL works is they play like 6, 7, 8 a.m. Eastern time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I don't know about you, especially on the weekends, that time doesn't really work for me. Especially if I want to do, say, EPT Korea on Saturday night. Didn't do it this last week. I won't be doing it next week because of DreamHack. But in general, especially if I want to do EPT Korea, it doesn't really work for me. So I rebroadcast, or I broadcast. I do my cast of WTL for a North American audience about 7 p.m.-ish. Sundays are starting a little bit later because I have Ultimate League, or like Ultimate Frisbee League. But in general, I drop in the high ground here. Spore is going to be annoying, but it just forces the medevacs into a slightly different spot. Still got to be careful. But the Queens are not where they need to be. Ling's looking for that surround, but they're Hellbats on the back line. You wish they were on the front line, but even still, they represent a lot of worker death. But the medevac dies. A lot of the army goes down. Looks like a couple SCVs. Random Ling harass knocked them down a little bit. Hey, it's Nina. Hey, everyone. Thank you, Nina. Hope you had a fantastic stream. Of course, this is the World Team League. And PSISTORM currently up 3-1 over Kaizi Gaming because MaxPax 2-0 Spirit, Special and Time split a map. And now, Gumiho only needs one map here to go on and take the series over Kaizi Gaming, which I did not have as well. A good run by from Reynor to start on that 4th base, but we got a big push from Gumiho. He's got his 1-1. His army is powerful, and as he's doing this, he's got his 4th base on the way. His economy he has been ahead of Reynor in workers for like the last 6 minutes. To get you all caught up on this game, by the way, Gumiho ran in with Hellions and had a Marine drop. Medevac died for about 23, 24 worker kills. And then he ran in with Hellions again later on. He built more of them for another 15. So Reynor has lost about 40 drones before the 8-minute mark in this game. And this army from Gumiho is absolutely terrifying here. He's up double the army supply. Reynor is finally caught up to economy in some way, shape, or form. But Mule's still a lot to say about that one. That Widow Mine will go down. Good target fire. And actually not the best splits from Gumiho. But the calculus says he doesn't care. He's got so much stuff. The Baneling splits or the Baneling connections will have to be better than even that was. Now the army of Gumiho runs forward, losing a medevac. Unfortunate. Queen's starting to run out of energy, though, so their wall of HP is not going to be all that successful. Banelings run forward, knock a lot of Widow Mines down. But Gumiho continues to push on forward here. We see Reynor tilting his head to the side. He understands that this game is not a game that he will win. The G to double G. Gumiho secures week 1 for PSISTORM. Now, they will play a second game. But Gumi God, for real, he takes down Cyril and TSL. Then he goes here. 2-0s. 2-0 or 1-0's Reynor. Well, in the bottom right, it's Reynor. In the upper left, Gumiho securing the victory for PSISTORM. Most importantly, so the way WTL works in terms of scoring, if you win in regulation, you get 3 points. If you win in tiebreak, if you win an ace match, as we got a bit of a proxy coming out from Gumiho, because he understands this game doesn't matter. It's for pride, it's for stats, but that's about it. So if you go and you win in an ace match, you get 2 points. If you lose in an ace match, you get 1 point, and if you lose and you don't get to an ace match, you get 0 points. Matt Mazzola, you talk about the WBC openers. Did you see Acheron Lambo today? Because that was actually, B-Stream doesn't always get the best games for DreamHack. It's just the sorry state, or just the state of how unequal the top, say, 8 players in Europe are versus everyone else. We had 2 banger series today out of the 4 that we cast. Steadfast and I. Battle B and Acheron was awesome. And then Acheron and Lambo was also fantastic. And in one of those games, I'm not telling you which one, he did go for a double BC opening, which was pretty cool. But Reynor's just not going to get the scout. He had the idea in his mind. He's looking for the double barracks at that spot we can see where his Overlord went. There's a spot in the bottom middle, the left middle, where you can go and you tuck. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Slack pinged. How do I always forget how to make myself do not disturb? There we go. Till tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, drones are now going to get pulled, but Reynor has a very late. He's got a very late understanding on this one. So looks like actually he's not going to pull drones. He's just going to give up the natural because as the bunker's already done. So it is a weird day. It is a very rare day to see a 2-Rax actually kill a base. As Gumiho got a Reaper. Odd. But it does provide envision to the main base. And by the way, we did see Reynor go for a pool first, so that does slow things down a little bit. The Marines pop out, trying to get the damage on the Queen, maybe. The big target actually is... Oh, that's unfortunate. The big target, of course, is this Spine Crawler that is going down. Because you can actually put the Spine Crawler in a position where the Spine Crawler does damage to the bunker, but the bunker does not have range. So, ideally, if you have enough Marines, you run forward, you're able to DPS the Spine Crawler down before it gets ready. Because the second Queen arrives now, speed is done. And this is actually where things get a little bit scary. Because the hatch is getting low. Ling's now going for the bust. And actually, there's not a lot of surface area here. There's actually no repair on the bunker. Not whatsoever. So the Marines, they pop out on the backside. It's a bit of a wall here, but the Spine pushes forward. And it has not taken any damage at this point. Lings are breaking it anyways. There's only one bunker. The Marines are starting to fall. And Gumiho, he got his bunkers up. Now, this technically was a good position for the Terran to be in until Reynor just broke him. So unless the Marines will go down, actually, Lings on the map here are a bit scary. Hellions have been made, so at least there is that splash damage. But with no, it is only well, factory production. I guess there's a starport too, but really that doesn't, Viking doesn't do all that much. Reynor's decision to go for roaches out of this, I kind of think it would have been, I mean, it's hard to know, but if he had gone quicker roaches, I say 19 supply, he went pool first, you can absolutely do that. He would be breaking down Gumiho's front door right now instead of waiting for roaches to arrive. But on the flip side, he went 19 drone roach. He would probably not have had the money for the spine, which would have meant that that break would have been harder, and he probably would have lost the natural. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. But at the end of the day, 5 roaches, 6 roaches are going to be on the way here. Reynor saving, looks like maybe a little gas. Or not. You would think he would save some gas for a couple of Ravagers to bust that wall down. But for right now, 8 roaches are on the production tab, and Ling's behind it. So it's just going to be a great big all-in coming in from Reynor. Now, Gumiho, if he's allowed to survive, actually, this is pretty cool. He's got an armory going down. And that means he's going to have high ground Hellbats. Like, that is... And he's going to have Cloaked Widow Mines. Oh, Cloaked Widow Mines, of course, not quite as effective for... Well... Not quite as effective for against Zerg as it is against the other races because they can drop spores. They do have a little bit easier access to detection, but I think Gumiho wants these at home. It's running into some issues now. He needs every little bit of something to make sure he's able to defend at home, and 4 Widow Mines can make a difference. And now maybe they're not the best against roaches and Ravagers, but they do well against other things. So now the roaches and the Ravagers, they will arrive. There is no bunker. There's actually nothing here. Widow Mines go off, though. 5 workers go down, make it 11. And that is going to be a lot of damage here, but more Widow Mines, excuse me, on the way. Biles get dropped, and they hit that one. I didn't think they quite had the range. But the Ravagers here punching right on through, and as the Lings look to flood in, I mean, you need a little bit more. Good split there on the Widow Mine. And now it's only a Viking. Gumiho taps out. His pressure did not work, and Reynor, it's a very Pyrrhic victory. He wins the game, but we see he's not excited about it because he had to win this game. He had to win the last game, too. Then he would have had to win the ace match. PSISTORM, surprisingly enough, I think for many people, has gone, and they've taken week 1 over Kaizi Gaming.